The spaceship Echo Drift moved silently through the black space. Inside, most crew members were asleep. Only the soft hum of machines and blinking lights filled the silence. Riker, a human medical officer, lay on his small bed in the crew quarters. He was tired, but something felt strange. The blanket on his body was missing, and there was a warm presence near him. He opened his eyes slowly. Someone was in his bed, a soft glowing body pressed against his chest. Smooth skin, cool to the touch. His heart jumped. "Lacey?" he whispered in shock. The alien female slowly turned her head. Her golden eyes stared at him. Her cheeks were flushed, and she looked confused, scared. I didn't mean to. "I don't know how I got here," she said, her voice trembling. Riker quickly sat up. "You climbed into my bed?" She looked down. Her arms were wrapped around his chest. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "I remember heat. My body was burning. I couldn't think. I felt something calling me." Riker blinked. His mind tried to catch up. Lacey was not just any alien. She was a Zalari officer, a proud, distant race who rarely even touched humans. Physical contact was almost taboo for them. Lacey's body trembled as she pulled away from him. "My skin still feels strange," she said softly. "And there's something else." "What?" She hesitated. "My stomach. It feels tight, like something is growing." Riker looked at her carefully. "You mean like sickness?" She shook her head. "No, something alive." Silence filled the room. Then she asked it. The question, the one that hit Riker like a space missile. "Am I pregnant, human?" An hour later, they were in the med bay. Riker scanned her body with the human diagnostic tools. He checked everything. Twice. "No sign of human pregnancy," he said. "Your species doesn't even reproduce like us." Lacey sat on the examination table, legs crossed, arms hugging her sides. Her skin pulsed gently with light, a soft, pale blue glow. She didn't look calm. "And why do I feel this way?" she whispered. "Why do I feel full?" Riker looked through the data again. "I don't know, Lacey. Your vitals are normal, except your body temperature is higher than usual, and your cells are reacting like they're rebuilding something." "Rebuilding?" she asked. "Yes, like your DNA is rewriting itself." She touched her belly lightly. "This happened after I touched you." Riker's voice dropped. "Last night." She nodded slowly. "You were warm. I couldn't stop myself. My body moved on its own. But now it feels like something inside me woke up." Riker ran a hand through his hair. "Your species was genetically modified a long time ago, right?" Lacey nodded. "Yes. Our ancestors were bioengineered for survival and for control. Maybe that genetic code responded to human DNA, something ancient." She looked at him with wide eyes. "Then what happens next?" "I don't know." They sat in silence for a long moment. Finally, Lacey stood. Her knees shook, and Riker grabbed her arm to steady her. "I'm scared," she admitted. "You're not alone," he said. Later that night, Lacey returned to her quarters. The hallway felt colder than usual. Crew members passed by her, but none greeted her. They looked at her skin still softly glowing. She could hear whispers. "She's glowing. That's not normal. Did you see her with the human?" "What did she do?" She closed her door behind her and leaned against it. She looked at her hands. Something inside her was changing. And worse, she was beginning to feel connected to him. To the human dot, not just physically dot, emotionally dot, as if his presence now lived inside her dot in the command center. Riker stared at the medical logs. He opened an old file, a record about ancient Zalari myths. One line stood out. "The ancient flame sleeps within the mother's code, but only the touch of a foreign star shall awaken it." He leaned back in his chair, eyes wide. "What have we done?" he whispered. Lacey sat on her bed, clutching a pillow. Her hand moved over her stomach. There was no pain, but there was pressure, gentle, warm, like a heartbeat. She closed her eyes. I don't understand, she said to herself. But I know one thing. She opened her eyes. That night changed everything. Asterisk, the ship's engines purred softly through the walls, but inside the med bay, the silence was heavy. Lacey lay on the examination bed, her breathing slow, her eyes fixed on the glowing ceiling. Riker sat nearby, holding a datapad, pretending to read, but his eyes kept drifting to her. Then, suddenly, she gasped. Her body jerked slightly. Something just moved, she whispered. Riker stood up fast. What do you mean moved? Lacey placed her hand over her stomach. Inside me. I felt a pulse, a shift. It wasn't me, it was like something alive. He rushed over and gently placed a scanner on her skin. His voice remained calm, but his hands shook. Nothing abnormal on the scan, he said. Lacey turned her head and stared at him. Then why do I feel it? Riker took a deep breath. Your biology is alien. Maybe this is just a reaction to last night, your body's defense system. I'm not stupid, she snapped, eyes burning. Something inside me is awake. Her voice softened again, and it feels connected to you. In the Zalari section of the ship, word had already spread. A female had broken protocol, touched a human, shared heat. And now her glow was changing. Group of Zalari warriors stood outside her quarters earlier that morning. They had smelled the difference in her scent. Her pheromones were different human tainted to them. She was now unstable. Contaminated. A danger. Back in the medbay, Riker pulled up old research logs. He found reports of rare Zalari genetic traits, silent codes left over from ancient times. The files called them mother echoes. In rare cases, if Zalari DNA is triggered by non-Zalari touch, the echo awakens. A dormant line begins. A rewrite begins. A life begins. Riker stared at the screen. He turned back to Lacey. Your body may be rewriting your DNA, building something new, not human. Not Zalari. A hybrid. Lacey looked away. Then I'm a freak. No, Riker said, his voice firm. You might be the future. Her eyes filled with something he hadn't seen before. Hope, fear, both at once. Later that day, Lacey stepped into the cafeteria. The moment she entered, the room went quiet. Conversation stopped. Forks froze mid-air, all eyes on her glowing skin. Her slower walk. Her slightly arched back, as if protecting her belly. A Zalari female walked up and stood in front of her. You broke the code, she hissed. I didn't choose this, Lacey said. You warmed yourself with a human. Now you carry his sickness. Lacey stood tall. It's not sickness, it's life. The room froze again. One of the humans at the far table stood and walked toward her. It was Riker. She's not alone, he said quietly, standing beside her. The others didn't respond, but they didn't attack either. Lacey looked up at him. And for the first time, she felt safe, truly safe. That night, Lacey sat in her dark room, knees hugged to her chest. She whispered to herself, "Why me?" There was no answer, but her skin glowed brighter now, and inside her, something moved again, gentle, rhythmic, like a heartbeat inside. A cave. Not painful, but not normal either. She couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw stars exploding, ancient Zalari temples, and Riker's face. A strange warmth bloomed inside her chest. Maybe it wasn't just her body changing. Maybe it was her heart too. At the same time, Riker stood alone on the observation deck, staring at the stars. He held a hand over his chest, remembering her voice, her warmth, her fear. He didn't know what they had started, but he knew it wasn't over. Not by a long shot, and deep in his gut, he knew they weren't alone anymore. The ship's archive chamber was cold and quiet, almost forgotten. Dust floated in the beams of the old lights. Riker had never been here before. It wasn't open to humans. But now things had changed. He had broken rules. Lacey had broken bloodlines. Something was growing inside her. He searched through glowing data screens, one after another, until a file finally opened. It was locked behind an old Zalari encryption, but Lacey had given him access. Project Echogenesis, if awakened by foreign contact, the mother line may activate. This process cannot be reversed. The result will not be Zalari. It will not be human. It will be something else. Riker's throat went dry. Elsewhere, Lacey stood before the ship's ancient AI core. The AI's voice was cold, female, and judgmental. You carry a forbiddance code. Your body is no longer purely Zalari. You must report for dissection. Lacey didn't flinch. I didn't choose this. Your ancestors sealed this gene for a reason. What is forming inside you is not a child. It is a change. Lacey narrowed her eyes. Then maybe it's time we changed. Rewriting the mother line may bring war. Or peace, she whispered. The AI's lights flickered, then went silent. Later, Riker met Lacey in a hidden corner of the ship's lower level near the reactor tubes where the lights were. Always dim and the cameras didn't reach. He handed her a small device. What's this? She asked. Proof. Your DNA is rewriting itself. Your genes are building something ... based on both of us. Lacey touched her stomach. Then it's real. It's more than real, he said. You're the first of your kind to carry a cross-species code, and it's not dying, it's adapting. Her skin glowed faint blue again. Warmer this time, she stepped closer to him. I'm scared, Riker. So am I, he said. But you're not alone. They stood there, not speaking. Then, she asked softly, did your kind ever believe in fate? He smiled faintly. Only after meeting yours. Back on the upper deck, the Zalari commander slammed a fist onto the meeting table. She is unstable. She must be contained, he shouted. One of the human officers leaned back in his chair. She hasn't attacked anyone. She's done nothing wrong. Yet, the commander hissed. But something is forming inside her. It's not natural. Another Zalari spoke quietly, almost afraid. What if it's not a weapon? What if it's evolution? Silence. Then the commander spoke again, cold and final. We must terminate the anomaly before it spreads. In her quarters, Lacey sat by the window, looking out into the stars. Her reflection shimmered on the glass. She could see the changes now, her skin brighter, her pulse stronger, and the heartbeat inside her. It wasn't just alive, it felt aware. Connected to her, connected to Riker. She whispered to it, softly, I don't know what you are, but I won't let them hurt you. That night, alarms sounded across the ship. Unauthorized genetic activity. Detected, Sector 12. Riker's communicator buzzed. They're coming for her, the voice said. You have minutes. He ran faster than he ever had. He found her already standing, dressed in dark armor, her skin glowing like a star trapped in skin. They want to take you, he said, panting. I know. Then let's disappear. She nodded once. Together. And they vanished into the shadows. The echo of footsteps pounded through the ship's lower decks. Lacey ran fast, her breath sharp, her skin glowing brighter with each step. Behind her, Riker kept up, his heart slamming in his chest. Left, he shouted. She didn't look back. She turned sharply, nearly slipping on the smooth floor. They passed flickering lights, warning signs, and broken service panels. The ship was old, but now it felt like a maze of danger. They've blocked the main corridor. Riker yelled again. They're not trying to capture me, Lacey said, breathless. He looked at her. They want me gone. She finished, back in command. The Zalari captain watched the security feed. Seal all exits, he ordered. If she reaches the data core or the communication bay, this pregnancy becomes a message. One of the soldiers hesitated. Sir, we could just isolate her. Wait. Study what? A hybrid? A mistake? The captain snapped. This is not a birth. This is corruption of the bloodline. He turned to his men. Terminate her before she spreads it. In the service tunnels, Riker and Lacey crouched under a flickering light. Both were breathing hard. Riker held a small scanner. Blips on the screen showed troops closing in. Lacey leaned against the wall. Her hand pressed to her stomach again. It moved, she whispered. Again? He asked. She nodded. Faster this time, stronger. It's like ... It knows we're in danger. Riker's voice lowered. Maybe it does. She looked up at him, her eyes wet but glowing. I don't want to die, Riker. Not now. Not like this. You won't, he said. I promised you that. Minutes later, they entered the old genetics lab, long abandoned. Dust clung to the walls, and ancient consoles blinked like forgotten ghosts. Lacey stepped into the center of the room. Strange images flickered around her Zolari ancestors, female shapes glowing, cradling strange orbs in their arms. What is this place? Riker asked. Old science, Lacey said. From before the purging. Before they erased every trace of human Zolari contact. He turned sharply. Wait, you mean this has happened before? She nodded slowly. Yes, long ago. A secret union, forbidden, hidden. Riker's voice dropped. And they killed them, didn't they? All of them. Lacey placed her hand on a console. The lights responded to her. Her bloodline still spoke to the machines. A low chime echoed through the lab. Mother code detected. Echo line active. A soft pulse filled the room, and Riker heard it. A second heartbeat, soft but steady through the speakers. He stared at the console, then at Lacey. That's it. Lacey's lips parted in awe. It's alive. The lab doors suddenly exploded. Inward soldiers poured in. Down. Riker shouted, pulling Lacey behind an old machine. Laser bolts flew through the room. Sparks rained from the ceiling. The heartbeat continued louder now, matching Lacey's own. Then something strange happened. Her body began to pulse, not just with light, but with energy. The glow turned golden. Riker watched, stunned, as her skin shimmered and waves of light pushed outward, knocking the soldiers off balance. What is this? He asked. Lacey clutched her stomach, her voice distant. It's not just growing, it's protecting us. One soldier aimed. Again, but the moment he fired, the blast curved bent like space itself shifted. The shot missed them completely. Outside the lab, the ship's AI rebooted itself. Unauthorized energy field detected. Echo line verified. Updating Zolari genetic protocol. The screen glitched for a second, then displayed one line. She is no longer a threat. She is the origin. Back in the lab, Lacey collapsed into Riker's arms. Her glow faded slightly, but her eyes stayed open. They'll keep coming, she said weakly. Then we'll keep running. Riker replied. No, she said, shaking her head. It's time to stop hiding. As the old lab's ceiling opened to the stars, Lacey looked upward. Her voice was steady now. I carry more than a child. Riker looked at her, confused. She continued. I carry history, a path they erased, a bond they feared. And what do we do now? He asked. She smiled faintly. We show them the future. The power flickered across the ship. Lights dimmed. Consoles glitched. Systems rebooted for the third time in an hour. In the control center, the crew whispered in fear. Did you see the energy surge chart? That wasn't a normal pulse. That came from inside her. She's not just glowing anymore. Something inside her is active. Lacey sat on a quiet bench deep in the observation deck. Her body was shaking, But not from fear this time. Her hands trembled because she could feel it now. Clearly, a second presence inside her, that it wasn't kicking like a baby, that it was moving with thought, like it knew her, like it was aware of her emotions. Riker, she whispered as he entered, carrying a portable scanner. He knelt in front of her, gently placing the device near her stomach. It's stronger now, he said quietly. Your vitals are changing every hour. She looked down at her arms. Her veins weren't blue or red anymore. They shimmered with gold light under the skin. I'm not Solari anymore, am I? Riker met her eyes. You're something new. In the lower lab, human and Solari scientists watched the data stream from the scan. One human doctor whispered, This ... isn't a child. This is a reactor. It's generating power, said another. Enough to power the entire ship for a week. One Solari scientist stepped back in horror. That's not a life. That's a weapon. Lexi clutched her chest as a strong thump hit her ribs from inside. She gasped. It's awake again, she said. Stronger than before. Riker held her hand. We need to figure out what it's becoming. Fast. She nodded, sweating. It's not just reacting to me now. It's reacting to them, the soldiers. She shook her head. Everyone. It's sensing fear, anger, hatred. Riker froze. You think it can feel emotions? Not just feel, Lexi said. It learns from them. Later, they stood in a restricted hangar. Hidden there was a long-lost pod, part of the original Solari archive vessel. The ship AI had given Riker access after detecting Lexi's pulse signature. Inside, ancient records played . Images of glowing females, holding children with gold skin. Humans standing beside them, and then fire, war, executions. The images shifted. The hybrid children were feared, their powers misunderstood. Their potential erased. Riker stared. This happened before. Lexi touched the projection, and then it changed. Her pulse activated a hidden file no one had seen in centuries. A hybrid born in light may become the bridge, or the destroyer. The outcome depends on how the world greets it. Lexi backed away slowly. They were never afraid of the child, she whispered. They were afraid of what they would do to it. Meanwhile, the ship's top command held a private meeting. One general stood up. We can't wait. If that thing fully forms, and it decides to turn, none of us will be able to stop it. A Solari elder replied coldly, terminate the host. Remove the threat. But what if it's not a threat? A younger voice said, then it's an experiment. And experiments can be controlled. If not, they are disposed of. That night, Riker sat beside Lexi while she slept. Her breathing was slow, but her body still shimmered. He watched the scan silently. Heartbeat, stable, power output, rising. Then, a strange reading appeared. Conscious wave detected. The scanner began to speak. A soft young voice. Hello, Riker froze. You're scared. I feel it. He looked at Lexi, still asleep. She's safe with you. That's why I'm calm. Who are you? Riker whispered. I don't know yet, the voice said, but I'm learning. Then, silence, and the scanner shut off on its own. Lexi woke up, her eyes wide. I saw something, she whispered. A dream. But not mine. What did you see? A world burning, but also healing. I saw myself older, holding something. Bright. Riker leaned closer. What were you holding? She looked down at her stomach. This. Asterisk. The stars outside the escape shuttle weren't moving. That was the strange part. Normally, space drifted past in soft, slow motion. But now the view was still, as if the universe itself was holding its breath. Inside the tiny shuttle, Lexi lay curled in Riker's arms, wrapped in an emergency blanket. Her body glowed gently, heartbeat steady, but .. louder, stronger. Too strong for one being. Riker pressed his palm against her. Stomach, thump, then again thump dash thump. 2 heartbeats. 1. Hers, 1. Not. 3 hours earlier, they had stolen the medical shuttle and launched into deep space. The ship was tracking them. Both humans and Zalari wanted her back, but they were done being hunted. For now, they drifted. In silence. Where are we going? Lexi asked softly, eyes half closed. Riker adjusted the controls. Away from everyone who wants to use you or fear you. She smiled faintly. That's a lot of people, he chuckled. I don't care. She looked at him carefully. You didn't ask what I saw in the dream again. Riker turned to her. Tell me. She looked out the small window. I saw stars blinking out. One by one, like something was erasing the sky, but then I saw a glow rise from darkness. She placed her hand on her stomach. It came from me, from us, from this. Riker swallowed. So ... It's not just a child, Lexi nodded. It's a choice, a direction. It can become light or darkness. Suddenly, the ship's system beeped. Incoming transmission detected no known origin signal. Organic pattern recognition. Riker frowned. That's not possible. Signals don't come from organic patterns. Lexi stared at the screen. Play it. The console hissed softly. Then a voice echoed. Not male. Not female. Not even mechanical. It was blended. Like many voices speaking. As one, you carry the seed. It has awakened. Riker jumped back. Who is this? We are what came before. Hidden when they feared the light. Buried in code. Forgotten in blood. Lexi's hand trembled. You mean, the hybrids? Yes, you carry our echo. And now, the galaxy watches. Not out of wonder but fear. Riker leaned forward. What do you want? To help? If you choose to survive. The screen shifted. A set of coordinates appeared. A hidden moon nowhere near any official route. A dead zone. Lexi whispered, this place doesn't exist on any star map. Riker started the engines. Let's go anyway. As the shuttle drifted closer to the hidden moon, the darkness around it thickened. Not normal darkness. It was alive. Like space bent inward. Then, without warning, everything went quiet. No engine hum. No breathing sounds. No heartbeat. Lexi's eyes widened. Riker? He tried to speak. No sound. They weren't deaf. Sound itself had vanished. Suddenly, boom. A deep thump echoed inside the ship. Lexi arched forward, gasping. Light burst from her chest, white, gold, and violet. Her eyes glowed fully now. And then they heard it. A third heartbeat. Not hers. Not Riker's. Not the child's. Something. Older. Deeper. Ancient. She has reached the threshold, said the voice from before. Now she must remember what was stolen. Lexi's mind flashed. She saw stone temples. Human hands holding alien ones. A child with golden eyes flying above crowds. Screams, fire, silence. And then she saw herself. In that same place, holding the same child, her child. She fell back in Riker's arms, sweating, shaking. I saw everything, she whispered. We used to be one, human and Zalari. A long time ago, they split us apart. Riker looked stunned. Why? Because together, we became too strong. Too free. As they landed on the hidden moon, a strange calm filled the shuttle. No alarms. No weapons. Only a platform of white stone surrounded by glowing plants. Breathing with light. Waiting. Lexi stepped outside. The moment her foot touched the ground, a ripple moved across the stone, and the heartbeat inside her quickened. Welcome home, the voice whispered. Riker stepped beside her. You okay? She nodded slowly. I don't think I'm just carrying a life anymore. He looked at her. What? Then, she turned to him, her voice steady. I think I'm carrying the key to restart a future they tried to erase. The moon's surface shimmered beneath their feet. No wind. No sound, no sign of life, yet everything felt alive. Riker walked beside Lexi, watching her carefully. She didn't speak much now. Her eyes were glowing softly, and something had shifted. In her voice. Deeper, calm, but not entirely hers anymore. The heartbeat inside her? It wasn't just beating. It was calling. Above them, far away, two ships dropped from hyperspace, one human. One XELARI. Both armed, both ready to end what had started with a single night between a man and a woman who were never meant to touch. Inside the human command deck, General Roswell stared at the moon below. "We destroy the anomaly. This ends now." And inside the Zalari warship, the elders whispered, "Let no hybrid rise again." Missiles armed. Lasers charged. Down below, Lexi stepped forward onto the glowing stone platform. She stood at the center as the plants surrounding it bent toward her, like they were bowing. Riker stood just behind her, clutching the small pulse rifle he had taken from the shuttle. "This feels like a graveyard," he muttered. Lexi's voice was calm. "It's not. It's a memory. A living one." Suddenly, a beam of light burst from the platform skyward. It reached the warships above and froze their weapons in place. The computers inside both vessels glitched. Monitors filled with alien symbols. Then, a message. "You tried to erase us, but you left the seed. She is that seed. And she has awakened." Back on the surface, Lexi collapsed to her knees. Her stomach burned, not from pain but light. Riker rushed to her side. "Lexi!" She grabbed his hand. "It's time." The ground cracked beneath them. The platform opened like a blooming flower. Rising from it was a glowing cradle made of light and stone, pulsing with energy. Inside her body, the child began to move. But this time, it wasn't just moving. It was pushing itself forward. And then the light burst. A kungusa. Golden shockwaves spread across the moon like water. In space, both warships shut down. Engines died. Weapons disarmed. Shields melted away. And then, for the first time in recorded history, both crews saw it together. From the moon, a figure of pure energy rose into the sky, shaped like a child. Golden eyes. Human hands. Zalari skin, hovering. Breathing. Watching. Alive. Back on the surface, Riker held Lexi in his arms. She was exhausted, glowing faint, but smiling. "You did it," he whispered. She shook her head. "We did it." The child landed gently on the ground. It looked at Riker, then at Lexi, then toward the sky. It spoke, but not with words. In their minds, they heard, "I am not your past. I am your bridge. If you fear me, I will sleep forever. If you accept me, I will heal what you broke." The world paused. Then, one of the warships blinked a signal light. "We see you." The other followed, "We remember." Lexi took Riker's hand as they watched their child walk toward the light trees. She whispered, "One night, I just wanted warmth. I didn't expect the universe to change." Riker grinned softly. "Honestly, I just wanted sleep." They laughed. The child turned back, smiled at them, and vanished in a soft pulse of light, merging with the moon. 1 year later, humans and Zalari worked side by side on a new research station built on that same moon. No weapons, no generals, only thinkers, scientists, families. Inside a small garden, Lexi sat beneath a glowing tree. Riker brought her tea. "Still glowing," he teased. She smirked. "Still nosy." He leaned in, kissed her cheek. "Still mine?" She looked at him. "Always." She placed his hand on her belly again. Another heartbeat. This one. Normal. Maybe.